Hello there, yarn lovers. It's Gary, and I'm coming to you from my happy place, the Yarn Corner here on the west coast of Canada. How are you all doing? I hope you're well and staying safe on this Sunday evening. It is November the 2nd, 2025, and I do apologize. It is quite late. Well, 5 p.m. It's getting late nowadays in this part of the world, and I've got the electric light on, so it's looking kind of stark and lots of heavy shadow. So I'm going to run with it because this is an exciting video that I wanted to put together and get out as soon as I could, and I hope that you'll enjoy the content. If you're happening across this channel for the very first time, I've set the channel up to talk about all of my yarny adventures in knitting, crochet, as well as I talk about my acquisitions in yarn and tools of my craft. So if that's of interest, then please stick around. And for those who have returned, I want to say welcome back. Thank you so much for letting me know what you got up to in Halloween, which was only a few days ago. I dropped a video and you were telling me all about what you got up to. Now, even if you were just stitching away and you don't answer the door for trick-or-treaters, or if you go out trick-or-treating, if you get dressed up, I heard stories about those happenings. So I want to say thank you for including me. On our side of things here in this household, we have a puppy called Pixel. A lot of you were concerned about, you know, the fireworks and all that sort of thing. She was really remarkably calm. We had 3 groups of kids come to our door. I think all in all, over like the 3 groups, there were about 15 kids we gave candy out to. She did bark a little bit, but I think the barking was more about like going to kind of greet the people rather than being aggressive. We kind of can tell when Pixel's a little bit kind of agitated and anxious, but she wasn't in this case. So that was kind of good. She kind of calmed down as soon as the kids walked away. So I think trick-or-treating for us in this household might happen again in future Halloweens, which is great. What I'm wearing, it's the knitted sweater called Into the Wild, and it's by the designer Tanya Barley. I absolutely love knitting this. Any patterns that I might mention or YouTubers or tutorials will be linked down in the description box. So if you're interested to find out a little bit more, then go down there and you'll be able to find some links to the best of my ability, because sometimes there's no links. It's just like either something's closed down or yeah, but that's where more information will be. Okay, so getting back to talk about what this video is all about. If you've seen by the title, it will be talking about the next Makealong that I'm hosting. And it's all to do with mood boards and makes that go with the mood boards. If you've been around and you know a bit about my channel, each season I have been bringing out these mood board Makealongs, and I create a different theme each time. So they're open themes, so you can create these mood boards to any degree that you like. You can derive from those mood boards all your inspiration for color, all of your kind of like inspiration for what kind of pattern you want to use. And these patterns could be of any nature. It could be free-formed, it could be paid for, you could find a free pattern that someone else has designed, and that could be the answer to your mood board. It could be a tutorial too. So I'm going to take you through the process that I've gone through. We'll talk about the theme and the time that I am hosting this mood board will start now, November the 2nd or the 3rd, whenever this video gets dropped, 2025, and it'll go until December 15th, 2025. And you'll submit to me your finished mood board, just a photograph, send it to me, attach it to an email, and a photograph of your finished work, send it to me, put it in an email, tell me what's your, if you've used a pattern, what the pattern was, or if it was free-formed, and also if it was a tutorial. Just leave all those details down, what yarn you use, because sometimes people are interested in finding out what yarn you used for a particular project, and then send it to me by before the deadline or on the deadline day of December 15th, 2025. I'll put it together in a slideshow. We celebrate everyone's brilliant work, and it's been wonderful in the past because I've left it open so much of interpretation can be your creative license in these themes, and everyone has taken advantage of that and has produced many different things in the past that blow my mind. So yes, I'm super excited about this theme as well. So let's look at the theme, shall we? Okay, I'm calling this season's mood board Makealong. It's going to be, we're all going to become fiber alchemists. So the Fibre Alchemist season is about looking at elements. And we're going to, the traditional alchemy was putting base elements into a concoction to try and make precious metals like gold. So we're going to be using elements that we are inspired by, either on the periodic table, or if you're talking ancient times, there were 4 main elements, and those were water, air, fire, or earth. So we can derive all of our inspiration imagery from any of those elements, old or in the periodic table. We'll put them down into a mood board, cut up images from magazines, or maybe use the internet to get some ideas. We can mix elements. We don't need to stick to one element. We can, sprinkle a bit of sulfur and mix in a bit of cobalt. Maybe some silver can go in here and there. So it's open to kind of your interpretation on how you want to create your mood boards to create your alchemy experience. So yeah, just some suggestions here. If you are looking at the old elements, for instance, earth could be ochres, moss green, warm browns, muted taupes. Now you could be looking somewhere like in nature for those things, maybe a forest walk. Air, soft whites, pale blues, silver grays, pastels. You could take a photograph of a beautiful sunset and call that your air shot. Maybe you took a flight somewhere and looked outside the window and snapped a photograph. Or you could find these images as well on the internet. That could be where you could get the image resource from. Fire could be scarlet, red, copper, orange, black. And when I think of fire, a volcanic eruption somewhere in Hawaii, or one of those beautiful night shots where the lava is like streaming down to the water. Beautiful, beautiful imagery, and what a fantastic inspiration that would be. Water, turquoise, deep navy, seafoam, iridescent tones could be views of seascapes, which is what I've been inspired to put in my mood board. I'll show you that in a moment. If you're looking at things from the periodic table, sulfur, bright yellow, smoky grays. That could be like from a sweltering, I think sulfur is mined, I'm not sure, but there's kind of refineries that have piles of sulfur. There's sulfur fields as well, and I'm sure if you Googled it, that's where you'll see what the sulfur looks like. Silver, it could be a cool gray, icy whites, or reflective metallic yarn could be used, right? So I'm sure that there are some images of silver that are in jewelry or jewels. You don't have to get the raw elements. You could actually maybe go and look at some crowns or, medieval kind of armory that is made from silver. That might be your inspiration. As well as liquids like mercury. Yeah, you could be taking some photographs of mercury liquid pools and getting some ideas on what colors to use, as well as inspiration on like some patterns. So those are just some suggestions. And the periodic table, there are hundreds of different things that you could choose from. We're going to mix them. If you want to just do one element, that's totally fine too, or one compound, or what am I thinking of? One mineral or one kind of like element within the periodic table. So I've chosen water, and I've chosen to physically cut and paste from many different prints that I found and paste them into a notebook. And this is what I've come up with. So I am interested in water, and more specifically ocean. So what goes underneath the ocean, what colors are derived from ocean colors, seaweed, creatures in the ocean, waves, movement, even the moon that actually has a good relationship with the ocean, pulling it like a magnetic force to raise and lower the tides. So I really like it. I also have written some emotions here that are derived from the ocean and these pictures. I'll just read them here for you. So when you do yours, you can write these notes down too, with what it inspires in or invokes in your kind of feelings towards the element that you've chosen. So I've chosen mysterious, calm, and peaceful. Yeah, so let you take a look at that. The next thing, so that will be a piece that you need to take a photograph of and attach it to an email. The next thing that I'm going to do is talk about the yarn that I chose that relates to the color palette. I'm using this project bag for my make during the course of this till December 15th. And the yarn that has leaped out to say, use me for this project, is this one here. I've got the sea green here and the crashing waves of the white. So this is a bear yarn. It's fingering weight. I don't know how to pronounce the name of this. It is a European yarn, and it was also a gift from Edith. Thank you, Edith. I love this yarn. And there are speckles here of other kind of seaweed greens in the splashing part of the wave breaking. I really like it. My idea is to hold two fingering weight together because I'm going to do a color shift or a color fade, and I'll show you the next yarn. I'm going to try and get this into some type of sequence, but this was the first one that I wanted to show you. There's no color name of this one. I think I have the website of this company. So what I'll do is I'll put it down in the description box so you can see the name, the type of like yarn that they dye there. And unfortunately, this fingering weight yarn does not have a color name. So the next one that I'm going to hold it with is this one here. So I'm getting more of those light blues with specks of green and inky, it looks like indigo blue. I think that's going to make it sort of pop as well and calm down the contrast between these two a little bit, which is what I had in mind. This is a company called Midnight Cravings Yarn Company, and it's their light sock weight, and the colorway is called High Five. I like that name. Next one I'm going to be using is this one here. It's from Tangle Poets, and that is a Canadian company. Now, the interesting thing about this colorway, it is a name of a song. So the dyer of this yarn listens to the music and sees colors. So I thought that would be a nice thing to put in there because the colors match. I'm getting this more of a seaweed green there, and those inky blues, which are splotted in speckles there, are more tonal in this one. So the color way and the song title of this is called Wondering Why by the band The Red Clay Strays. I've not heard the song, but I love the idea of how the dyer picks the inspiration colors. And lastly, in this set, I am going to add probably the most darkest of the bunch, apart from this green here on the first one, but this is the dark hank here of all different types of seaweed greens and aquatic colors. And this is a colorway called Wabi Sabi, and it's by Yarnby, and it's their authentic hand-dyed yarn. I've been looking to use this in something, and I think this relates to all of these different colors. Now, I have a couple of different skeins in here if I need some more solid pops in case I want it to kind of chill down a little bit more. And I'm not sure whether I'll use them, but this is another yarn here that may or may not come into the play, and it's leftovers from another project, but I really like that color teal. All right, so what pattern, I hear you ask, am I planning to use those colors in? So it is a Stephen West's pattern, and it's called Slumber Shawl. It is a paid for pattern. I did purchase the Fading Shawls by Stephen West book, which has, I think, 12, 16, somewhere around there, patterns. And I really like this one because it does undulate like waves. And there are chevron-y type parts in this pattern, as well as striping. Because the stripes in this one are, it looks to me, just by the photo, it is one line up and back of one color and then switching out for another color and then one line up and back. So that's the way the blend is happening with this one. And I'm not going to be doing it that way. I think I'm going to just be holding two strands, and then what I'll do is I'll drop one as I go through the procession of those colors that you saw in my selection. It is a pattern that is asking for worsted or Aran weight, but there's also a note in here for DK weight yarn. So it will just create a lighter fabric. Maybe the size of this fabric or this size of this shawl will be smaller if I'm pairing the appropriate needles for the DK, hopefully, or two fingering held together. But I think it's looking like it's a healthy size to begin with. So I think I might be okay. We'll see. Anyway, more on that when I start work on it. But I hope that you'll join in. There will be a little prize. I haven't created the prize yet, but in past seasons for 2025 that we finished, I've crocheted up a bear, and I will be crocheting up another bear as a little bit of a prize for one lucky winner that I'll draw at the conclusion of this Makealong. So that's all going to be shown as I go through the course of now until December 15th. Along the way, I'll show you my progress, and also if you have any questions about this Makealong and any other bits and points that I might not have covered, then please do email me your questions, or you can ask them here in the comment section. It does take me a little bit of time to get through the comments, so I would say if you want something quicker, then please do email me your questions. And again, that is urbanyarn101@gmail.com. Also down in the description box, you'll find where that is too. And I hope that you'll join in. It's always a lot of fun. I love seeing what everyone makes, and they always blow my mind. So let's all be alchemists and mix together fibers, colors, and have fun with this. So I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.